Like the video in the next 5 seconds so these big ass crotches will crawl in your mouth. I wouldn't risk it.
Oh my god.
Just another new dev recording of video for you guys. But before I get into anything else, let me just say this one thing. What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Aaron Different, bringing y'all another video. Nah, look, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I bring y'all boys another banger. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys go check out my most recent, newest video before you subscribe, and also like and comment on that video if you want to see more videos like that. So if you want to be entered in the giveaway of these, make sure you comment down on today's video saying you subscribed. Wait, if you guys want these, make sure to subscribe on today's video. Make sure to subscribe, like today's video, and comment down your PSN and your favorite part of the video. Alright, and before, let me do one more thing. If you guys want a new pair of Air Forces, make sure to DM me on Snapchat, which will be on the screen, and my most recent video. Make sure y'all go like that video and comment down what size shoe you wear, and we'll see who the winner is. And also, don't forget about the giveaway because you don't want to miss out. Just make sure you comment down on today's video and subscribe if you are new. But yeah, in today's video, boys, I meant ladies and gentle ants. Yes, I said gentle ants. What are you going to do about it, huh? I don't know how this is going to be, but yeah, we're going to get straight into it. Go. Minimize. Let's go. And like I said, my last time, if you guys want to be entered in the giveaway, make sure to leave a like on today's video and comment down, and also subscribe to the channel. I at least want to hit 50 to 100 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you guys can do that for me, that will be very much appreciated. So yeah, let's just get into today's video. Let me go ahead and do full screen. And yeah, let me turn the volume up. And yeah, let's go. Story 1.
I'm always grateful to have found my wife. She completes me in every way, and I couldn't imagine life without her. But there was a time in my life when everything was quite different.
I gotta go back.
I don't know if it's just me.
What did you say?
I'm always grateful to have found my wife. She completes me in every way, and I couldn't imagine life without her.
You know, some people will say that, but sometimes people cheat. Like, for real. That ain't even... Ugh, I'm not even gonna say anything else.
But there was a time in my life when everything was quite different. I don't know if it's just me, but I've always been in a relationship. I can't remember a time when I was single for more than a couple of weeks. But the last relationship I had before I met my wife is one that scared me for the rest of my life, both physically and mentally.
For real?
It all happened about 5 years ago.
Coffee
I was
cafe.
Younger, more hopeful, and especially more trusting of people. And then Dana came into the picture. A beautiful, tall brunette with sparkling green eyes and a thick...
Bruh, she looked like a whole dude.
...figure that almost anyone would envy. Yeah, she seemed perfect. We met at a coffee shop.
She looked like she pregnant.
She was in line behind me, and we both wanted the same drink. That's when we started talking, and one thing led to another. The two of us started dating, and everything seemed fine for the first 3 or 4 dates. But I found it strange that she never invited me over to her house. She'd been to my place many times, but every time I would walk her to her door, she would never ask me if I'd want to come in and spend a little bit more time together.
Yeah,
We were both...
That's how you know something's up. If your girlfriend or your wife say something like that, then you know that she's not feeling you or wanting to like fuck with you anymore.
Adults living on our own, so in my mind,
Not
I thought
even.
it was strange. One evening, as I was driving home from work, I decided to swing by her place and give her a giant bouquet of roses. I was right in front of her building, and I called her. I didn't want to be this creep that just appears in front of her door. So as she picked up the phone, I asked her if she was home and if she was busy. "Oh no, I was actually just thinking of you," she said. I took that as a sign that it was okay for me to tell her that I'm downstairs. But as I did, she started to stutter. I'll talk to you tomorrow." And she hung up the phone. I didn't think that she was with someone else or anything similar. I actually didn't have any idea why she acted that way. But I didn't take it personally. I wasn't a controlling person by any means. But a couple of days later, I got a call from an unknown number. "Hello? Hello, is this Matt?" "Yes." "Dana's in the hospital. She got into a car accident." "Oh my God."
Whoa.
"She's stable now. You were the only number she called for the past few months." The doctor then asked me if I could go over to her place and bring some stuff, like pajamas and similar things. I went over to the hospital. Dana was still unconscious. I got her keys and drove immediately to her place. But as I opened the door, I couldn't believe my eyes. Pictures of me on the walls, melted candles all over the place, and a sort of shrine in the middle of her living room with another picture
She
of me
definitely
on
a
top.
psycho.
There was also a small notebook under the picture, so I opened it. "On the 13th, our Lord and Savior will come to this..."
On the 13th, our Lord and Savior will come to this earth and claim me as him. This sacrifice will bring him joy and will allow me to join his kingdom in this life and the next. She even got blood splatters from her fingers. That's how you know she a psycho.
"Earth and claim me as his own. This sacrifice will bring him joy and will allow me to join his kingdom in this life and the next." And the entire text had a blood stain on it. I looked around a bit more and saw that under one of my photos, a sharp, bloody knife was placed, and it had something written on the handle. "With this blade I will sacrifice his life." I turned it on the other side and it said simply, "Matt." Since she was hurt, I grabbed some of her things and dropped them off at the hospital. As I arrived, Dana woke up. She smiled at me, but I asked her about what was going on inside of her house. At that moment, she started acting crazy. She ripped out her IV and tried to jump on top of me so I couldn't leave. But her leg was injured, so she fell to the floor.
She fell to the ground.
Dana still managed to scratch my arm in her attempt to contain me, and even to this day I have that scar. "You don't understand. I need to sacrifice a pure soul. It's bigger than you and me, Matt. I have to do this," she yelled. The nurses even came in to see what was going on. I left the hospital, and I could still hear her screaming a couple of floors down. I was out of there and never contacted her again. The worst part was that she even came to my house a couple of times, and I was forced to move out so she wouldn't find me. Fortunately, that was the time I met my wife. And since then, I tried to forget what nearly happened to me.
Hey.
Did you enjoy the first story? If you
Yeah.
did, I would
I
love it if
honestly
you
did.
would
I ain't gonna
subscribe to
lie.
the channel.
Make sure y'all go ahead and hit this stuff up. Story 2. Show love, leave a like.
Horror movies were one thing. Having a girlfriend who loved them was another thing. And having a girlfriend who loved to practice what she watched was the height of it all. The abnormal fetish that Grace had for such movies remained a mystery to me. She would only say she loved them so much, and she would love to see them happen in real life. She had practiced a lot of the movies on unsuspecting mates in school, which left me no choice but to stop her from watching such movies, which she promised to stop, but only after she did the last scare that she had
What the hell
been
is she
planning for
doing?
years.
She look like a crackhead at night.
That was the only thing I told her that day. If I had known, or asked her to tell me what her plan was exactly,
Why is she
the
looking
school
like
would
that?
probably not be in smoke, and a lot of students wouldn't be in the burn unit in the hospital.
What did she do to the school?
If they weren't dead like others. Tonight, we feast, she said before putting hands in mine and walking into the dance room. It was our prom night, and the room was different shades of bright colors. But when Grace decided to put on black, I had to accept it because the color was totally up to her, and I
Hey,
had to wear whatever she
I ain't gonna lie,
wanted.
that dress is nice.
She had a weird smirk plastered on her face throughout the journey, from her house to the school, and even while on the dance floor, that smirk didn't leave her face. Also, She kept texting a particular number throughout the journey, using question marks and full stops only. Is this all a part of the scare? I thought. I decided not to ask her. Why spoil the fun since I was here also? The light in the room suddenly went off. The only light in the room came from the shiny gowns of the girls. A solemn music began to play from the speakers. I looked around for Grace in the dark, but I didn't see any blonde-haired girl who looked like her, or any girl who was dressed in black.
It's dark. How are you supposed to tell if you can see anybody?
To prevent myself from falling.
Like what?
I had barely gotten the thoughts of Grace being behind the whole thing when I felt a force push me to the ground. I tried to adjust myself back up, but I felt pinned to the ground by the same force, and I just decided to lay flat on the floor. I didn't have enough strength to fight with someone.
Looks like something's on him.
The end is now the beginning, a very thin voice said. It didn't sound like Grace, but was not also far from what she sounded like. I tried to catch a glimpse of anyone on the ground with me, but everyone was bothered about talking to their prom dates, while Grace left me with no one to talk to but myself.
Bruh.
A liquid began to pour on everyone, and when I tried to move away just so it wouldn't touch me, I felt a huge dump of it on me. I heard a mocking laugh and a frown formed on my face. I picked the person who poured the liquid on me by the feet, and the person fell to the ground, the glass of liquid in their hand shattering into pieces right behind them. "How dare you!" I yelled in their face. The person didn't say anything, but only stared back at me.
I would
The
have
light
done
came
the
on
same
again,
thing.
And I checked the face of the person I was holding. It was Chris, Grace's best friend. Was it just your plan to destroy prom, or kill everyone here if the light didn't come on? I asked him. He shook his head before covering his face in the fear that I would hit him again. I let him go, but not before locating Grace.
Where's
She
Grace?
had to be there somewhere. She would be the mastermind after the whole scare. I walked into the common room and there she was, in the
With
arms
another
of
guy.
another guy. Was this the reason you wanted to scare everyone? To have the time to do this? I asked her in disappointment. Steve, I'm sorry. I'm just in love, and I don't know how to satisfy you both simultaneously. I
Ugh.
closed the door behind me.
Wait a
forcefully.
minute. Wait a
It was
minute.
the first time I was so much in love, and the fear that I would hit him again. I let him go, but not before locating Grace. She had to be there somewhere. She would be the mastermind after the whole scare. I walked into the common room and there she was, in the arms of another guy. Was this the reason you wanted to scare everyone?
Alright, so he look like a good man. I ain't even gonna lie,
Have
bro.
the time to do this? I asked her in disappointment.
But look at this dude. He look like he don't even brush his teeth. He look like he hasn't brushed his teeth for about 4 months and 2 weeks. He look like the human version of Chucky and a crackhead.
Steve, I'm sorry. I'm just in love, and I don't know how to satisfy you both simultaneously. I closed the door behind me forcefully.
I would have done
It
the
was the
same
first
thing, bro.
time
I would have
was
been
so much
pissed
in
as
love
well.
And so much heartbroken at the same time.
This shit crazy.
So much for love, I thought before walking out of the school building. I looked back for a second and the whole building went up in flames. Students tried to run out as fast as they could. I searched for Grace in the crowd, but couldn't find her. She
Good.
set the school in
She's a
flames.
hoe.
She could have at least found a way out for herself, but I didn't see the vibrant, weird smile on the face of anybody except Chris, who had an evil laugh on his face. I perceived the odor on my cloth, and it all became clear. It was petrol. I tried to run into the building.
No,
to save
don't do
Grace,
that. Don't do it. Don't
but
do it.
Chris pulled me back. He then whispered in my ear, "She was a bitch."
Oh my god.
Let her burn.
I want to hear that
Couldn't
again.
face of anybody except
Chris
Chris,
Wright.
who had
Watch
an
this.
evil
Listen
laugh on his
again.
face. I perceived the odor on my cloth, and it all
Petrol.
became clear.
Betrayal.
It was petrol.
Petrol. I said it
I
wrong.
tried to run into the building to save Grace, but Chris pulled me back. He then whispered in my ear, "She was a bitch. Let her burn. Good for both of us." If only I could have warned her. If only. I stared at Chris for a few seconds in hatred before walking back home.
Shit, crazy. Okay, story 3.
I was 24 years old. I worked as an app developer and had a loving girlfriend. She was probably the only reason things weren't going so great at the moment. My friends warned me about my girlfriend April,
He looked like one of the people from One Direction, but animated.
but I always waved away their complaints. I knew that she had a wild side. That was what drew me to her in the first place. April was impulsive and sometimes reckless, but I loved her, and it was always exciting being with her. One time, she called me to come to the hospital, and I got there to see that she had a cast on her arm. She said she missed the subway train and tried to get in by ramming herself on the glass. The force had sprained her arm. I had to pay the bills and also take care of her. I told her that normal people would have waited for another train
For
or
real.
found an alternative way, but she stubbornly didn't listen to me. We had been dating for close to a year now, and aside from the time she would get us into trouble, nothing serious had ever happened. I asked her to move in with me because I thought I could keep her safe from herself. I was wrong. One of my apps that I put in for a bidding contest won, and April said we had to go celebrate. I was ecstatic and agreed with her. The contract was a good one for me, and I was going to be
It was
very
like she
rich.
wearing something totally
We went
different,
to
but
a
he
bar at the
has
end of our
the
street.
same
We got a bottle of champagne and
outfit
toasted
on.
to my success.
I think I
It
don't
was
know.
nice being with her, and we talked about everything and laughed together. It was getting late, so we decided to go home. I stood up and bumped into someone behind me. The guy shoved me, and I had to grab the bar table for support. "Hey, watch it!" I finally got a good look at him. He was a big and muscular man. I swallowed nervously. April was pushing at the guy's chest, telling him he had to apologize. The other people at the bar just watched, probably hoping there would be a fight. No one came to intervene. "April, let it go," I said, grabbing her by her waist and pulling her back. I didn't want any trouble tonight, and this guy was the sort of people that we shouldn't be messing with. The excitement of tonight fizzled out, and all I wanted was to go back home. "Yeah, listen to your wimp of a boyfriend and get out," he said. What happened next happened so fast. One moment, April was beside me. The next one, she launched herself at the guy who insulted me and started slapping him. They were both on the floor, but April was on top of him. She punched him in the face, and the guy yelled. He tried to punch her back, but she dodged it. I guess only someone as crazy as my girlfriend would have learned to fight because of her
No,
tendency
hurry.
to get into trouble. I pulled her off of him with great difficulty and yelled at her to stop. She struggled against me, but I managed to pull her out of the bar.
Shut up.
The look on the guy's face chilled me to the bones, and I hoped this would be the end of it. On the way home, I scolded April and told her that she should think before she acted. Anything could have happened, and she could have been hurt. She shrugged it off and said that she just couldn't stand by when someone was insulting me. I shook my head in barely restrained anger. We got home eventually, and I went to the kitchen to get her ice for her hands. About an hour passed by, and I put the drama that happened behind me. We were in the living room watching a movie when I heard a sound that didn't come from the TV. I muted the movie and stood up. April watched me with wide eyes and asked me what was wrong. I told her that there was someone in the house. Suddenly, the lights went off. April screamed and held on to me. "Who's there?" I called out. "Did you think I would just let you go?" a voice said, chuckling.
The dude from the bar.
It was the guy April assaulted in the bar. I gulped and told April that we had to get out of the house. The guy looked pretty dangerous, and for him to break into our house, it meant something terrible would happen. April brought out her phone to call 911.
That's
The guy
dumb.
walked into the living room, a gun pointed at us. He motioned for her to end the call, and April had no choice but to do that. Then he asked us to get on our knees. We complied, and I kept thinking of a way out of this situation, but found none. April rammed into him, and he lost his grip on the gun. I reached for the gun and looked up to see that April was biting him. The guy screamed and cursed before punching her in the stomach. She fell down groaning. He looked at me and saw that I had the gun pointed at him. Perhaps he thought I wasn't going to pull the trigger because he started coming at me as if daring me to shoot him. I pulled the trigger at the same time our door got knocked down and uniformed men marched into the room. The guy was on the floor with a bullet hole in his shoulder. They restrained me first because I was the one with
He
the
got
gun.
aim.
The guy started crying and said that I hurt his girlfriend and that I wanted to kill him. April was unconscious, so it was his word against mine, at least till she woke up. I was taken into detention, pending the time that April
I know he did not just pretend that that was his girlfriend.
started coming at me as if daring me to shoot him. I pulled the trigger at the same time our door got knocked down and uniformed men marched into the room. The guy was on the floor with a bullet hole in his shoulder. They restrained me first because I was the one with the gun. The guy started crying and said that I hurt his girlfriend and that I wanted to kill him. April was unconscious, so it was his word against mine, at least till she woke up. I was taken into detention, pending the time that April woke up. The next evening, I was released. The police said that April gave her statement and it was the same thing I told them. April was waiting outside for me and ran to hug me when I came out. I
Well,
was
at least she
silent
ain't
till we got home.
toxic.
Then I told her that she should move her things out. I was
Or
breaking
psycho.
up with her. She dissolved in tears and told me that what happened would never happen again. I looked at her in pity
That's a
and
lie.
shook my head. It hurt me to break up with her, but I had no choice if I wanted to remain alive. She moved out, and I hoped that she would find someone that could protect her when I couldn't. I
She would,
continued developing apps, and my friends would often tease me that I needed a girlfriend. I ignored them all. I wasn't on the market for trouble, and it would remain that way for a long time.
it didn't get right there. Stop recording. Alright. She didn't seem to be like a psycho type. But hey. Anyways. Thank you for tuning in today's video on the plan. Leave a like and comment down below. And yeah, I'm out.